And welcome back to more of Mega Man X2, where we're gonna take out the last of the X-Hunters, as well as Bubble Crab. And Bubble Crab is your standard underwater level. And let's see, there is one main thing I had to do in this stage, and that's take out the submarine. And I actually did learn that you have to take out the ship in order to get to the X-Hunter fight. But I mean, I'll show more of that as we go on in this game. Alright, just get up here. And then get ourselves an extra life, always good. So let's just blast some more things. And I want to be charged up here when I get over here, so let's just go ahead and do that now. And then what you have to do is you have to blast this thing into oblivion. And just like so. And yeah, this will take a while because this is a pretty durable ship. And right now I'm just shooting the bottom parts. And yeah, I do want to shoot that laser because that'll cause us the most problems. And also mind the jellyfish because they're just there to annoy you. They're not really that big a problem strength-wise, but they will annoy you. And right here you can use if you go back a little bit, you can find something in the area where if you use Morph Moth's charged weapon, you can get some extra things. That's you know what, I think I went to the wrong one, but you get my idea. Yeah, I was actually in here. But regardless, let's just head over here and just keep going. Fortunately, the rest of the stage isn't too tough once you take out the ship. It's just a matter of not getting caught off guard by all the things that this game throws at you. We want to go up here because I want to fight the X-Hunter. And right here I get to meet Surges. And Surges is personally my least favorite of the X-Hunter fights because he does have a way of hitting you a lot. And I actually have gotten hurt by that cape before. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use a Sonic Slicer, because that just does the most damage. And also he can throw these mines at you. Okay, screw this, I'm going back to the X-Buster. And the thing with these mines is that they will hurt you if you try and land on them, of course, because they're mines. And unfortunately I couldn't activate that one. Really unfortunate that you couldn't activate it. But I'm just taking my time here because I really don't like this boss fight, and it's a pretty annoying one. Especially when he likes to raise his shield and block my best attacks. Alright, just one more here. And let's see, let's just keep going with this. I probably should shoot those mines at some point. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Now that's funny. That's funnier. Just go ahead and eliminate you. And just step on one of the mines inadvertently. Alright, just one more here. Quit your shield, you bastard. Alright, that's the end of you. Yeah, so you can see why I hate this fight so much. I mean, it's not really hard, it's just annoying. But fortunately, they're generous enough to put me right at the boss door. And at least they gave me some power-ups. And we're off to fight Bubble Crab. And with Bubble Crab, he likes to use a shield. And it is pretty easy to hit him with a spin wheel. Except the biggest issue with the spin wheel is that you can only have one on the screen at a time. And it just gets pretty annoying to, you know, have to wait for the spin wheel to fade out. Especially when he likes to go to the other side of it. And then you can't get more than one hit off. Okay, also some other attacks he has, he likes to shoot Bubble Splash at you. He can also shoot a bunch of mini crabs at you. Alright, let's just deal with this guy here. And with that, Bubble Crab is dead. And with the spin wheel, he is easy enough, and you can also beat him pretty easily with a turbo button. But I don't have one on this controller. I mean, I probably could have set it, but I just didn't want to. And with Bubble Crab done, we get the Bubble Splash. Not really that useful a weapon, but its charged up version's a lot more useful underwater. Also, here's a little cutscene once you get all of Zero's parts. And it's basically just do your job. So now that Surges is done, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Bubble Crab stage and get some power-ups I missed. And let's see, these are gonna require the use of the charged up Bubble Splash. And this is actually pretty easy to get once you get the X-Buster power-up, as well as or this one's just gonna require the X-Buster power-up and the Bubble Splash. So I had to backtrack to get this one. And I don't think I'm gonna need to deal with the ship this time. I mean, I'm still gonna shoot the hell out of it, but I don't think it's gonna be that big a problem. And yeah, I'll just cut until I get there. Alright, now that we're here, let's just charge up Bubble Splash. And then get up here for some extra weapon energy. And I think I'm gonna have to go this way. Just to get what I want. And at least some power-ups, that's good. I missed it. Yeah, I just want to get this thing. The first thing I gotta do is just make this jump. There we go. And there's one of the heart tanks, and right now we're up to 6. And see, I gotta trek a little bit further in order to get to the sub-tank. And that involves getting hit by these guys. Let's see, I think it should be this one. And there we go. And now that we got all that, let's just exit. And with only 2 Mavericks left to go, on to Morph Moth stage. And Morph Moth is actually pretty unique in the sense that he has 2 forms. Now there's a larva one, and then there's the one you just saw. I mean, I thought that was a pretty nice addition to this game. And this is going to take place in a robot junkyard, and basically what you want to do is just shoot these guys in the head. Oh, I was supposed to keep them there. Yeah, well, good thing enemies regenerate in this game. Because I need to use the Crystal Hunter and then freeze that guy and then get myself another heart tank. And with these junk parts, what you have to do is when you jump a little bit higher. So that's always good. And just take them out that way. And this one, you do need to use a helmet in order to find this. And how you know to look there, who the hell knows? That's what Nintendo Power is for. And with that, we find Dr. Light and get ourselves our final upgrade. At least right now. And also the unique thing about this armor is you can get a Giga Attack, and this is actually the first X game to introduce that. X4 would later do this, as well as all the other games. Actually, yeah, all the other games would do this. I think X3 didn't. I mean, they had something a little bit different, but we'll get into that when we get to X3. And, let's see, this is a pretty nice place to power up if you, don't have Morph Moth's weapon. I mean, you can fill up your sub-tanks pretty easily here. And get yourself some lives, always good. And no, those guys shot at you. Anyway, here's our first encounter with a mini-boss, and this is a parasite possessing a junk robot. And what I gotta do is shoot it in the torso. Yeah, see, that's the tricky part with this thing, is that it does like to count the head as a hit, or it likes to bounce off the head, which doesn't count as a hit. And then right when that parasite comes out, you use the sonic slicer, take him out that way. I mean, that's just the easy way to do this. Now when I get the sonic slicer back up, just because it is a pretty useful weapon for this stage. Now, and by the way, to the right is where the X-Hunter fight would have been. Oh, we already took care of that, so let's just keep going. Now let's just take advantage of the air here. And just eliminate some junk bots. And also with those parasites, if they do get a hold of you, they can make you do all sorts of weird things like jump and dash whenever you don't want to. Let's just take care of you. Alright, well that was easy enough. That's really the good thing about the spin wheel, is that you can get a lot of good hits in. And that's just a nice way to clear out these guys. And now to our second mini-boss, and sometimes with this trash compactor, it likes to push the trash down. In that sense, it's going to be a little bit harder to hit this thing. Okay, let's just get Sonic Slicer back up. And let's just keep going here. And just a few more parasites to take care of, really no big deal. Yeah, whenever they get a hold of you, you have to jump and dash a lot in order to shake them off. Just go back to the spin wheel here. And here we're facing off against Morph Moth, and he is pretty simple, and once you have the speed burner, which is his weakness, and this first form is going to be a larva form, and what the larva form does, it just throws trash at you. Kind of like Garbage Man if he existed. Look out, X, I'm throwing garbage at you because I'm made of it. And then whenever you hit him enough, he likes to go here and cause a lot of pain. And then just throw trash around. Just like so. Sometimes he goes counterclockwise. But more often than not, he goes clockwise. Now here's for the second part of this fight. What you're doing is, let's see, avoiding this guy's dust. And also, sometimes he likes to shoot his rainbow laser of death at you. Which fortunately is an instant kill, but still something that does a lot of damage. Oh, with all that, Morph Moth is dead. Yeah, we get ourselves a Silk Shot, and this is going to be a pretty useful weapon, not only for the next boss, which is going to be Magna Centipede, but also to get some neat power-ups. And I'm going to demonstrate right now in Overdrive Ostrich's stage. Alright, now that we're here, let's just get going. And right here, if you notice that your Silk Shot doesn't work, if you charge it up, this happens. So a nice little power-up area. Always useful when you gotta refill sub-tanks and whatnot. See, there's a weapon one in a Crystal Snail stage, and then there's another energy one in Bubble Crab stage. So now on to our last Maverick, and that's gonna be Magna Centipede. And Magna Centipede stage is fairly tricky, and his boss fight is actually really tough if you don't have a Silk Shot. And I do like the music in this stage, and that's just one unfortunate aspect of X2, is that while the game is still very solid all around, it's just not as good as the first one, which is unfortunate, and one of the reasons is the music. Okay, let's just wait for you. And yeah, you don't want to trip those alarms, otherwise those blocks will drop and then they'll attack you, and that's never any fun. Let's see, what I need to do here is get the speed burner up, and then jump over here, and get myself a heart tank. And let's see, these blocks like to shift, and you can also shoot the purple one. So I'm just gonna wait for these guys. That's really the easy way to do it. It is really easy to get crushed if you try and rush this section, so do yourself a favor and don't rush this section. Just like so. Alright, let's just keep going here. Okay, well that was different. Anyway, let's see, what I need to do is activate the speed burner. Now I had it. Let's see, try this again. And here I'm gonna get the sub-tank. And see, right now we got ourselves a mini-boss to deal with. Now this is gonna be a Sigma's sword, and with wireframe effect. And really what you gotta do is hit the handle. And just like so. Whenever it wobbles like that, it's really tough to hit it, so I'm just gonna wait for it. I mean, it's really easy to block the attacks, that's what the problem is. I mean, you can occasionally get a decent shot off, but more often than not, it's just gonna get blocked. And, that's it. It's really easiest to hit him whenever he spins like that. So let's just wait for him here. And unfortunately, this boss fight does, or this mini boss fight does take a while. I think you can use a speed burner on it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with the X-Buster. Let's just go here. Alright, well fortunately the X-Buster did enough damage, so let's just keep going here. And fortunately you don't have to worry about much if you end up tripping these alarms, so it's really not that big a problem if you do. Which I somehow didn't. But anyway, what you gotta do here is just dash like hell, because if those sensors catch you, they do power up the next mini-boss. And also you need to dash to make it to the X-Hunter door, which is right here. And here is this said mini-boss. And if those sensors caught you, they actually would have changed it a different color. And then they would have had like some additional attacks. So let's just take care of him the regular way here. Just using the old-fashioned attack. And this guy does take a lot of hits to kill, so I might be here for a while. So I think as long as he's green, the pattern's actually pretty simple. But really it's just a matter of hitting him enough. And just like so. Alright, well that's done with. Now in this next part, what they're going to try and do is trick you. And that's basically trying to put you into a panic with these alarms going off, so that you end up rushing too much and then get crushed by those blocks. Just like so. And now we're up to Magna Centipede. His weakness, as I've said before, is the Silk Shot. And this guy is really tough without the Silk Shot, and the reason for that is he has this armor that attracts you to him, and then whenever he stings you with his tail, you end up losing something, or losing a certain ability. I mean, sometimes it's or like you can't charge your X-Buster, sometimes you can't dash. It just depends on how many times he gets you. And then other times he's just completely too slow to avoid anything. And yeah, this guy does fight a lot like Boomer Kawanger did, in the sense that he's gonna teleport a lot. But fortunately in Morph Moth's weapon, his shot breaks off into 45-degree angles, so you gotta do use the bounces to your advantage. Alright, you're gonna show up so I can attack you. Okay, that just didn't work. Yeah, that's really what's annoying about this guy, is that he can just teleport over and over again and then make you waste your weapons. And also that mine's a little bit tricky to avoid because of how it curves. And let's see, we're almost done here. And yeah, we are going to need to be using these 45-degree angles to my advantage. And with that, Magna Centipede is dead. Well, this explosion is taking a while. I am also trying new settings with, you know, all my stuff in Windows just to limit how many times slowdown happens, but I mean, sometimes it's just gonna happen. And with Magna Centipede gone, I get the Magnet Mine. And here we get another cutscene with X and Dr. Kane. And now we get to learn what the X Hunters are. Although you could have just said beat the hell out of them. But regardless, with that, we are ready to take on our last set of bosses for the game. So, join me next time as I take on the X-Hunters. See you then!